Mark Heimbaugh's disappearance. I question his shoe. His shoe was found on the beach, right? I question his shoe. I question suspects. I question um, if he drowned. See, going to see a brush fire by a nearby marsh, right? That's the question. That sort of thing, as in a drowning, right? If the area location, it it wasn't Florida, but say if it would have been Florida, you would question if sharks were involved, because to find a shoe on the beach is to say, okay, that could either point to suspects or it could point to something that occurred near or around the beach for his shoe to be left behind. That's why I question, could could he have drowned, right? You're gonna ask that sort of thing. Some people will say, well, a suspect left the shoe behind. If there if there's nearby water, you will also question drowning and say a shoe making its way uh in the location where the shoe was found, right? Not everyone asks completely, fully, thoroughly in question on that sort of thing, right? But I do. Like, subscribe, ID in the Discovery Channel. Yes, ID in the Discovery Channel. The links are provided below. Get that Discovery Go app as well as that ID Go app. You might want to get those two things combined or make them into one, and I'm a Discovery influencer. Yes, so Mark, he left home to watch a brush fire burning in a nearby marsh. Mark was 11 years old at time of his disappearance back in 1991 on November 25th. Mark was last seen in an environment near his home, Dillhaven, New Jersey. When I asked, well, Florida, right? You know how specifically different locations, knowing what is around water, what's within the water, right? Yeah, because if that was Florida, that would have definitely been an issue with a shoe being found, because your question is sharks and water, you know, what uh marsh, alligators. There's things that you would in fact question. Some might not ask, well, okay, you have a marsh, then you have a beach. If you're near a marsh, possibly some alligators or something like that, right? It specifically depends on the location, right? But there have been people, once again, who question if that shoe was left behind by suspects, right? Or by a suspect, right? A sex offender or so, right? So around the time of 4 p.m., someone noticed Mark at a local park. That location was a beachside community. Authorities and Mark's mother couldn't trace Mark's whereabouts, which is why he is still missing. Still missing. 1991, here it is, 2021, right? Mark watched firefighters put out a blaze, as I mentioned a bit in my opening. So, uh, questioning the distance of the firefighters pertaining to him watching them, if he even made it there. He possibly did, but you would even question that. Well, the distance, the firefighters, did the firefighters, how far away from him were they, right? Distance, measuring the distance. Did any firefighters notice him, right? Because that has to be questioned as well. Even if there's fire going on, blaze going on, any of that, right? There's smoke with that. Even that covers certain things, as in you're not able to clearly see. Sometimes you can see, but it's still in question of any, if any firefighters noticed him, right? At any time, any moment, or anything like that, right? That's all law enforcement. They usually question firefighters pertaining to that sort of thing, right? Especially when there's a missing child involved. But I have to mention that as well, because that will pinpoint if he was even at that location where it said that he was going to watch the brush fire, or if he was at another location, because that points to his disappearance as well. He could have either been at the location to watch the fire, or he might not have ever been at the location to watch the fire. He could have been in a different location, right? That sort of thing will add up. It would or it wouldn't, right? And that even points to his shoe being found the way that it was found, right? Yes, because when I think of water, I think of alligators as well, depending on where it's located, right? That's enough to leave shoes behind as well. So, yes, I said about the distance of the fire, right? Blocking the view could have, might not have, right? There was a person of interest in Mark's disappearance who cops followed since 1993, a sex offender by the name of Gilbert Patrick. Gilbert Patrick, right? That's his first and middle name. A shoe was found, I said of that, on a Delaware Bay beach. After his disappearance, did the sex offender I mentioned have anything to do with his disappearance? Because there's a lot of questions around him, right? Gilbert. Yeah. That's the first thing I said. Well, okay, a marsh. The area of a marsh. The first thing that came to my mind was an alligator, right? But then at the same time, on a Delaware beach, that's a whole different location. Why would a suspect, okay, yeah, marsh, beach, right? Why would a suspect, because see, suspects do that sort of thing. Uh, yes, they do, right? Leave items and stuff of children, missing children behind, right? If a suspect did leave his shoe behind, what would be the reason, dear viewers? What would be the reason for that sort of thing with this case, missing child's case, right? Why would he want to leave a shoe behind? Because when it comes to, sex offenders or suspects, right, involving missing children, they all have, as I stated before, they all have their reasons for leaving items behind. This one so happened to be a shoe. That's the only thing that's, yes, left behind on Mark, right? Shoe. Clue. That's in fact what it is. It's when something's left behind like that, clue. What does the shoe speak of? Because even the shoe holds his own vocabulary pertaining to missing, disappearance, right? That sort of thing is what you analyze and question from top to bottom. You in fact do, or should, because it would even tell why he's gone. It's interesting to me how, and there's people involved in children going missing, right? And then they take the whole body of the child and then just leave one item behind. If that was pertaining to this case, if that suspect or suspects were involved, taking a child's whole body and leaving something behind. For people that take missing children, even that's a game to them. It's a sick game. Leaving clues and stuff like that. It's a sick game. Sick. But at the same time, yeah. Because now all you have left is holding this shoe and questioning all around the shoe. Even shoes tell stories. It could even speak on if the suspect was involved. It could even pinpoint to even his or her home life. to why they would even take missing children to begin with, right? So, we're on investigationdiscovery.com. The ID logo stands in the far left corner. Live now. Chaos in court. New episodes. To receive an audio-visual preview, to gain access, is to click right here where it's locked down. The padlock. Provide who you're subscribed to gain access to that. Unlocked episodes. To receive an audio-visual preview is to click the play button and you would in fact receive that sort of thing. Watch unlocked seasons. ID Go original series. Recommended for you. Shouts out to Lieutenant Jokinda as well as Paula. To receive a newsletter from Investigation Discovery is to type your email address in and click next and you would in fact receive that. So dear viewers, continue to question on what could have occurred with Mark and his disappearance. Who could have been involved and what's the reason for the shoe being left behind? Let me know what you think and feel about this video and may you enjoy your day. I will in fact enjoy mine and I'm gone for now. 1.